Hello, I'm Lara Kulchersen and this is Newsfeed, your dose of what people are talking about online. That standing ovation lasted a full 24 minutes. It followed the showing of The Voice of Hind Rajab, a docudrama at the Venice Film Festival. Directed by Koter Ben Hania, the film is about the tragic last moments of 6-year-old Hind Rajab. She was killed along with 6 family members in Gaza last year. The paramedics who rushed to help her were also killed. The film was made in cooperation with Hind's mother, Wissam Hamada, the Palestine Red Crescent Society, and features a cast of Palestinian actors. It takes place entirely in the Red Crescent's control room, where Hind's last call was heard. Hind is not shown on screen to honor her memory, but recordings of her actual voice tell the story, making her presence felt in every part of the film. The powerful reception in Venice has already sparked talk that it could be a frontrunner for the festival's top prize, the Golden Lion, to be awarded on September 6th.
This movie was very important for me because when I heard the first time the voice of Hind Rajab, there was something more than her voice. It was the very voice of Gaza asking for help and nobody could enter. A strong desire and the feeling of anger and helplessness that gave birth to this movie, but I was surrounded by wonderful people with all the support of Hind's mother, Hind family, and all the workers of the Red Crescent that are the real hero in this story.
The powerful message of the film hasn't gone unnoticed. In a remarkable show of support, some of Hollywood's most prominent names have joined the project as executive producers, further amplifying the global spotlight on Gaza.
Koter Ben Hania was in the middle of an Oscar campaign and still pivoted instantly because she couldn't ignore Hind's story.
Brad Pitt, Joaquin Phoenix, Rooney Mara, Jonathan Glazer, and Alfonso Cuarón signed on to be executive producers of a movie, Voice of Hind Rajab. These high-profile figures attaching their names to this film as executive producers. Typically, an executive producer provides the money. This movie already exists, so maybe it's a reimbursement, maybe it's to help with distribution, or maybe it's just so that people will talk about it.
Been a lot of debate around this, and a lot of people have been rattled by the fact that there are Hollywood producers on board as part of this film, and I think a lot of people didn't realise that Hind's mother is in fact backing this film and is involved. I think we need to kind of think about the fact that we've been asking Hollywood to speak up, to do something, to highlight what's going on in Gaza, in the West Bank. It's a good thing because this film will be seen by people that may not even be aware of this story, because obviously it's been buried so deeply in terms of the Western media. Every single person in this world should see this film, and now they will.
A United States federal court has ordered Google to pay $425 million for breaching users' privacy. The jury found the tech giant collected data from millions of people, even after they had switched off a tracking feature in their Google accounts.
A lawsuit that accused the tech giant of tracking users' internet activity. Google used to say that across our services, you can adjust our privacy settings to control what we collect and how your information is used. But this lawsuit alleged that nothing could be further from the truth. They claimed that whether or not you're in incognito mode or normal mode, Google is always tracking what you're doing. They said this meant Google was making a record of a user's most intimate and potentially embarrassing things they hunt for online.
The case, first filed in 2020, involved nearly 100 million users and more than 170 million devices. Plaintiffs accused Google of secretly gathering information through popular apps like Uber, Amazon, Instagram, and Facebook, despite its own privacy assurances. Google was found liable in 2 out of 3 claims, but jurors said the company had not acted with malice. The tech giant insists that even when users turn off web and app activity, some data may still be collected by businesses using its analytics tools, adding that this information does not personally identify individuals and respects their privacy choices. And it's not just Google under fire over data privacy. Disney is now facing its own penalty, this time involving children's online safety. The streaming giant has agreed to pay $10 million to settle claims it unlawfully allowed children's personal data to be collected. The U.S. Federal Trade Commission says Disney violated child privacy laws by failing to properly disclose that it was tracking viewers of its kid-focused YouTube content and by not getting parental consent. As part of the settlement, the company must also launch a 10-year compliance program to review all its YouTube videos and clearly mark whether they are made for children or not.
If you have ever uploaded something on YouTube, you know that there is a check mark that you have to check that says made for kids or not made for kids. And when you check mark that check mark and it is labeled as made for kids, data collection doesn't happen. Or so they say. All the way back in 2020, YouTube had already notified and given Disney because over 300 videos had to be reclassified by YouTube as made for kids. Not only did Disney make money from the ads on these videos that were made for kids, and these videos are literally like actors reading bedtime stories, animated movie stuff like Frozen and Cars and Toy Story, like it's definitely stuff made for kids. And that leads to the ability to read comments and put comments, autoplay, bringing in more non-kid content, only over 12 ad campaigns. Don't y'all miss the days when kids stayed on like the actual television and YouTube was just for like us?
Concerns over children's safety also extend to the artificial intelligence space. And OpenAI is now taking steps to regulate its products by introducing parental controls on ChatGPT. The firm says it's working to improve responses by its models to signs of mental and emotional distress. That's as a growing number of young people turn to interactive bots for advice on mental health issues such as depression. The move is not random. It comes after the parents of Adam Rain, a teen based in California, sued the company last month, arguing that ChatGPT coached them into suicide.
AI are introducing parental controls to their models, and here's what you should know. Parents will be able to link their ChatGPT account to their child and set age-appropriate restrictions on the model so that the child only gets content that is safe for their age group. OpenAI are also introducing a feature that notifies a parent when a conversation goes in a slightly concerning direction or the teen indicates they're in some form of distress.
Exploring features like an emergency contact reached with a one-click message within ChatGPT, as well as opt-in features allowing the chatbot itself to reach out to these contacts in severe cases. The difficulty is it requires the teen, vulnerable person, to turn those on unless the parent is tech savvy enough to turn those things on the teenager's device beforehand.
The decision by the tech company to support households by setting healthy guidelines for their teenagers sounds great in theory. But the lawyer representing the family of Adam Rain has slammed the new controls as a crisis management tactic to shift the debate. He also argues that the bot should have shown more empathy and it's not deemed safe and should be pulled from the market. Other platforms such as Google, Gemini, and Anthropic's Claude have also come under scrutiny. Researchers from a study published by the American Psychiatric Association say responses to questions on chatbots vary from high to intermediate levels of risk. Some platforms may redirect prompts, such as how to take one's own life, to hotline and professional help suggestions. But gray areas still exist when conversations begin with general queries like suicide statistics.
The big companies like ChatGPT are saying that parental controls are coming. You'll be able to link accounts, filters, and get alerts, and that sounds great. But researchers broke through these guardrails in minutes, and bots gave graphic self-harm advice. And so even with parental controls, it's likely that your child could end up in a dangerous conversation with a chatbot. And that's why the real safeguard around talking to AI chatbots isn't the parental controls, it's the conversations that you have with your child. And that doesn't mean banning AI, because kids will use it no matter what.
Artificial intelligence is making its way onto the beauty pageant stage. The Miss England contest is under fire after introducing a new AI round where contestants compete not in person but through digital avatars. Each of the 32 semi-finalists was told to create an AI-generated version of themselves, working with tech companies to pitch their virtual doubles to brands and agencies. The contestant, whose avatar secures the most commercial bookings, will qualify for the final. So far, only 3 women have chosen to take part. The move comes as AI steadily reshapes the fashion world, from virtual models starring in ad campaigns to AI faces gracing the pages of Vogue. The question now is whether AI creates opportunity or undermines the place of real people in the industry. Fast fashion giant Shein says it has launched an investigation after an image of a man accused of murder were used to model one of its shirts. The photo shows Luigi Mangione, who is charged with killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in New York last year. The company says the image came from a third-party vendor and was taken down immediately once it was discovered.
I don't know whether they used Photoshop or AI, but they got Luigi up there modeling this shirt, and the picture is working. The marketing is working because the shirt is almost sold out. See, this is why people don't like fast fashion now and call it unethical, because are we sure that Luigi consented to this? I highly doubt so, because that man is all the way in jail, y'all. He in the Stony Lonesome with Diddy. To be specific, Luigi is currently behind bars at MDC Brooklyn, where he is currently awaiting sentencing. If you don't remember, he has been locked up since December when he was arrested for allegedly offing that healthcare CEO, Brian Thompson. So it is highly unlikely that that boy had time to negotiate any brand deals, let alone with Shein.
The most coveted seat in fashion has officially been filled. With the legendary Anna Wintour stepping back from Vogue last July, Condé Nast has appointed 39-year-old journalist Chloe Mao as head of editorial content for the American edition. Her term begins immediately, though whispers of nepotism are already swirling around the appointment.
Now I see people reacting and everybody's like, oh my god, she's a Nepo baby. Mother is an American actress, Candice Bergen, and her father was Oscar-nominated director and a screenwriter called Lois Mal. But there's one thing I want to emphasize about her, and that is the fact that she's been with Vogue for 14 years now.
You might recognize her face from co-hosting Vogue's podcast, The Run Through, alongside Showman Andy of British Vogue and Nicole Phelps of Vogue Runway. And you might know her name because she's been editor of Vogue.com since 2024 and a social editor at Vogue since 2011. A job for which she wore black tights to the interview, which, recounted by The Independent, Anna Wintour strongly opposed. A young Andy said,
I'm curious what she's going to do with US Vogue. Is she going to bring the change? Is it going to be different? Or she's going to help it elevate? Those are my questions for her. The fact that her mom played Enid Frick in Sex and the City, who was Carrie's Vogue editor, now her daughter in real life is succeeding Anna Wintour, I find that hilarious.
And that's our show. Find our latest stuff on YouTube and do subscribe to our channel. See you soon.